you think we'll be seeing Bray. We have also had an announcement in regards to some of the matches that we can look forward to. One of those, I think, is very interesting. That is Liv Morgan taking on Sonya Deville. Liv Morgan against Sonya Deville. This is interesting because obviously last week it was in the background of that Liv Morgan segment that we saw potentially a lantern, certainly the Firefly Funhouse TV, potentially someone in a hood kind of standing against the pillar. There was obviously the Bray Wyatt logo that was on the box as well that was in the background. So there seems to be things going on in the background of Liv Morgan segments, just judging by last week. So that is going to be very, very interesting. As well, it kind of felt like Bray came out, spoke very open and honestly. A lot of people calling that his Wyndham character, his real life persona, if you will. And then obviously he gets interrupted, and now we need to see what the next steps are going to be. It's hard to see where we're going from here. I think I expect another open and honest and real Wyndham segment, because I don't believe he was kidnapped or anything at the end of that segment. He was only interrupted. Like, he was still in the ring, and then that mask came in and interrupted him, saying, you know, breathe your last, like, come with me, you know, this kind of stuff. So I believe he was still in the ring. I believe that he is still himself. So I'm expecting to see him again, maybe be interrupted again. I don't know if it'll be in ring or if it'll be backstage, or I don't know. It's hard. That is probably the big question that everyone's asking. What do we see from Bray Wyatt this week? And I think that for me, I think that we might see an open and honest, very real life Bray. I think this is a new persona that he's going to be using. It's weird to say persona because it feels like it's just him, but we'll go with persona for now. And I feel like that's probably going to be what we'll see again. And then obviously Uncle Howdy, if that is his name, will likely interrupt or make his presence felt a little more forcefully, maybe. Don't know. It's very interesting. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. But before we jump into the chat, let me just jot down. Where's everything branded as Raw? Oh, yeah, good point. Good point. Let me change this over. I'll change this over to SmackDown. Yeah, so let me just, whilst I'm changing this, blast down. We've got Logan Paul. We've got, he's going to be doing a promo. We've got Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville. They're going to be in a match. We've got Sheamus and Solo Sikoa. They're going to be in a match. We've got Io and Dakota taking on Raquel and Shotzi as well. So we've got a women's championship tag team match. We've got Sheamus taking on Solo Sikoa. We've got Liv taking on Sonya, and we've got a Logan Paul promo. Now, WWE have not actually announced anything to do with Bray, so there's no like official word that Bray's going to be on the show, but backstage rumblings are that he will appear and that we will get a Bray Wyatt segment. So, yes, we should be seeing him this week, or we should be getting something connected with him this week. William said, hope you are well. Appreciate you in the chat, Dortnight. It is a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have everyone around. So shout out to everyone that's joining us. I have got, as well as that, a few bits of news. I was just reading a very interesting article in regards to the premium live events. And they were saying that apparently, and this is something I didn't know, it is in the contract with Peacock that they should have 12 premium live events. So 12 premium live events every single year. That means if they do drop day one, they need to replace it with something else, which I didn't know that was in the contract. But according to this, it is actually in there. So that's very interesting, because I think a lot of people were thinking we were going to get rid of a load of premium live events and like really strip it back. But seemingly they can't. They've got to provide 12 a year for Peacock, according to this report. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Obviously, big news as well that King of the Ring looks like it's coming back as its own event. So that's going to be very interesting. I did see Zero News actually report that quite a while ago. So I do feel like Zero News have got some sort of source, because that's a real random thing for them to come out with and say. And then a few days later, it gets reported that that's what they're looking at doing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, a bit of movement on the premium live events. Jake said, Fightful have posted some plans, some interesting stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, Jake. What we can do is jump over, just have a look, see what's... It's always tricky with this when it comes to Fightful, because they always put out early plans. Like, this is something they do. But I don't know if I want to be ruining stuff for people either. We'll have a read, and if there's anything I think that's a spoiler, we'll lean on maybe not mentioning it. So, Fightful have learnt the following plans. Please be cognizant, great word, of those that want to avoid spoilers. Sheamus solo Sikoa, that's been announced. Bray Wyatt is set for a backstage segment. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I think that's the news people are hoping for. They're hoping that Bray is going to feature, and so it seems like Bray is going to feature. But as we already said, rumors, reports were doing the rounds that Bray would be on this show. So Fightful saying that Bray will be in a backstage segment. Bloodline backstage segment, Liv against Sonya, Braun and Amos face-to-face, the women's tag match, Rey Mysterio in action, and Logan Paul. So nothing that we didn't really already know outside of Rey Mysterio in action, and Bray Wyatt will be in a backstage segment. New Day against Maximum Male Models is a dark match. Miz versus Matt Riddle is a dark match. Ronda Rousey against Natalya is a dark match. So there is a section that says spoilers. I'm not going to read those. So when it comes to like spoilers for tonight's show, what's the point? Right? We might as well just watch it. So there is actually part of the Fightful article that says spoilers. I'm not going to touch that. What about the number of NXT premium live events per year? It doesn't mention that, to be honest. It doesn't mention premium live events for NXT. That's, I don't know, to be honest. I don't even know if there is a commitment when it comes to premium live events. Where is Halloween Havoc being shown? Is that being shown on Peacock this weekend? I don't know if it's Peacock or if it's gone on to USA Network. I would imagine Peacock would be my guess. So I'm guessing there probably is a number of premium live events that NXT needs to commit to, but to my knowledge, that does not make up the 12 main roster ones. Like, that would be a separate thing. It is Peacock and WWE Network. James, shout out to you. Joseph said, sorry to disturb you. What's the latest about CM Punk? I was watching a video that said CM Punk is coming back next year to WWE. Lol. Right, that's not happening. Well, I can't say it's not happening, but that's not what's going on, right? So the situation is, the latest news is that CM Punk is potentially about to get bought out of his contract. That's where the conversation is, right? There is no news in regards to CM Punk going back to WWE. He has been very vocal about not wanting to return to WWE. Don't forget, CM Punk's biggest problems were not with Vince. They were with Triple H. He used to call Triple H Vince's doofus son-in-law. So, and he walked out when the plans were that he was going to have a match with Triple H at WrestleMania 30. And I think his exact words were, Triple H needs that match against me more than I need it against him. And wasn't happy with those plans. And that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, because his relationship with Triple H is so fractured and they do not have a great relationship. Now, obviously, you can look at it and say, well, you know, time has gone by and things might have changed. But CM Punk has been very vocal and outspoken on AEW about how, he doesn't like WWE, how that is not the product for him. Do you remember when he first returned and he said that he's back to being a professional wrestler? He's not been a professional wrestler for like 12 years and completely ignored his whole time in WWE, which some took as a shot being fired. So I think to say that CM Punk's going back to WWE is a massive jump, a massive reach at this stage. I suppose you can't 100% say that it won't happen because CM Punk might actually now hate Kenny and the Bucks and Hangman more than he hates Triple H and might quite fancy sticking it to him by going to WWE, right? Kind of just work with Triple H, whatever, because I hate these guys more. So I kind of feel like to say that he's going back to WWE at this stage is a massive reach. What's actually happening is that AEW seemingly are in talks to buy him out of his contract. So give him a ton of money to end his contract early and he will be done with AEW. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing if you're an AEW fan. It's very disappointing if you're a CM Punk fan. It's very disappointing if you are really just a fan of pro wrestling, because I think, I don't know, even like Jim Cornette, who really does not like AEW, even he said that he could not have booked CM Punk's return any better than how AEW booked it. That moment when he comes back is one of the best moments in recent times. And there is a buzz, there is an excitement whenever CM Punk is involved in a really good feud, good storyline. We obviously saw the back and forth when he was in there with like MJF, and he really did provide kind of a boost in the arm, I think, to pro wrestling by coming back. You can definitely look at how he was booked and say like, oh, I would have changed this, I would have changed that. But it's undeniable that he was a big star, came back, did great ratings. His segments were always, if you listen to the list of achievements in AEW that he managed to achieve, I remember hearing Tony Khan at one of those kind of press conferences sit down and just swoon about, he's done this, he's done that, he's done this, he's done that, his segments achieved this. He headlined this show, it did this many. He headlined this show, it did this many. He just went down this whole list of things that CM Punk had achieved whilst he was in AEW. And it shows that obviously the interest is still there for CM Punk. And the problem is that I'm not convinced he goes to WWE now. I'm not convinced that he's free and he returns back to WWE. So my feelings on it are that we might now just be losing CM Punk again, like what we lost him before. Don't forget, he left WWE nearly 9 years ago. It's been nearly 9 years since he left WWE. It was 2014 that he left WWE. He was meant to be at WrestleMania 30 against Triple H. He didn't want to do it, and we never saw him since. So 9 years he was away. And or maybe 8, but he came back to AEW, and as we said, I kind of feel like there's a good chance we'll lose him again, because I don't know that he goes to WWE. The AEW door is closed. I don't think he's going to Impact or MLW. So you kind of look at it and go, well, would he do something in New Japan? If he was going to, you would think he would have within that time period. But to be honest, I feel like he's probably done. He might have got it out of his system. Do you know what I mean? He rocked up. He got to see the fans. It might grate on him that he never got a chance to say goodbye. But then saying that, he never said goodbye in WWE. And I don't think it bothered him that much. He came back. He gave the fans a moment. And, this could be it. This could be it. I think it's more likely that CM Punk is done now with wrestling than it is that he goes back to WWE. But, Triple H, I think, would be open to bringing him back. I think Triple H would be down for him coming back, because I think you've got to know it's going to be a great boost to ratings, and it's another kind of stick in the eye to Tony Khan, isn't it? Like, we've got Cody, now we've gone and got CM Punk. So it'd be another little punch towards Tony Khan, but I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that CM Punk wants to go back. I don't think he needs to go back. I think he's clearly not hurting for money. He's just made a ton of money thanks to being in AEW. So, yeah, that's a big talking point, though. I'm glad we've touched on it. Elliot said, Meltzer says that WWE plan on making the UK show permanent. So 2 Saudi shows and 1 UK show, 9 US shows, talk of Cyber Sunday and In Your House shows 2, says Elliot. Yeah, it looks like Triple H is looking to really shake things up in that kind of world, in the premium live event world. And I think that's good, to be honest. I think it needs a shake-up. Can't be the only one that's bored of, the same kind of schedule. When you get little tweaks, like sometimes you might get Great Balls of Fire, or sometimes you might get Backlash or WrestleMania Backlash, but sometimes you might get TLC. Sometimes you might get a day one, but by and large, it's kind of the same things. It's the same stuff. It's a bit uninspiring. I would love it to be a bit more themed. I kind of feel like rather than doing, say, TLC where matches are all tables, ladders, chairs, or Hell in a Cell where you get a couple of Hell in a Cell matches, or Elimination Chamber where you get a couple of Elimination Chamber matches, rather than doing those types of shows, I would much rather that we do a show that was a little bit more themed. If it means that we go to the UK, let's kind of lean into the fact that we're in the UK. Yeah, let's kind of embrace the fact we're in the UK and do a few UK kind of little touches throughout the show. I think that would be kind of nice. And again, if we went to India, we should do the same. If we go to India, if we go to Canada, we should do the same if we go to Canada. I kind of feel like if you're doing something in Texas, if you look at WrestleMania, look at the logos. Whenever WrestleMania is in a certain place, they always have a little nod to where they are. And again, that can be replicated in the staging. When we did WrestleMania in New York, there was like a flipping Statue of Liberty skyline on the entrance stage. Like, do you know what I mean? They lean into the area that they're in. Now, you can't spend that amount of money for every premium live event. I appreciate the staging for WrestleMania is exceptional, right? And I mean that literally. It is exceptional. It's an exception. But I still think that you could do little things. I can't see any reason why you can't have little nods to where you are and whatever. I would be much more into that than I would into building a whole show around Hell in a Cell. Do you know what I mean? I feel, and I've felt this for a long, long time, if a match needs to be a Hell in a Cell, just do it. Just do it. We shouldn't have to wait for the Hell in a Cell premium live event. If you've got a red hot feud and you need a Hell in a Cell match, do a Hell in a Cell match. Just do it. I mean, if you think that the Undertaker Mankind iconic Hell in a Cell match took place at King of the Ring, like that's how things used to be. If you needed to do a certain match, you just did it. You didn't have to wait for the premium live event to come around. So I would much rather that, we got premium live events that felt like anything can happen. Any match could happen at any premium live event. And we just maybe lean into the theme in a little bit more. It doesn't have to be a theme about where we are. It could be any sort of theme, really. But I think that it would be fun. If you think like Capital Punishment, if you think about Capital Punishment, when they did that in Washington, the stage was a giant White House. I don't know if you ever saw that. Google it. Have a look for the staging for Capital Punishment. They're in Washington, and it's like giant TV screen, but it's got extra bits added to it. Looks like the White House. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And I love little things like that. I want to feel when I tune into a premium live event that anything can happen and that it's going to be worth watching and it's got a little something extra to it. I think there's too many times where we tune into premium live events and they can just feel like they're in arenas and they can feel very much like a Raw or a SmackDown, to be honest. And the main event has got something a bit special about it. What I would say, though, is under Triple H, we are seeing that starting to evolve. And certainly in more recent times, we're seeing a lot more stadium shows, which I think is brilliant. Again, that really helps. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go to Clash at the Castle and it's in a big stadium, or, you know, since they started doing Royal Rumbles at, like, the baseball grounds, they've been doing that for a good few years now, and it works. It's brilliant. I think it feels bigger as a result. So I like that. That was a step in the right direction. So more things along those lines for me. But, yeah, good. I'm glad that we're shaking it up. Mitchell said, I know it's not the most popular of stories, but what do you think about Carl Anderson being a champ in New Japan and WWE having Crown Jewel on the same day? Is New Japan really mad? I haven't seen their reaction, but I did see a video by Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson sat down and said, I am the never openweight champion and I am meant to be defending the same night as Crown Jewel. Well, I am just going to let you know that I will not be defending this title, because New Japan booked me and didn't go through my booking agent, who is Gallows, and Gallows waved, kind of like, you know, no one told me that I was going to need to defend this championship on that date. And as a result, we've got a little bit of a double booking situation here, haven't we? So this is a video just to let New Japan know that I will not be defending this championship. But you set a time and a date that I'm available, and I will be there, and, you know, we'll get the job done, kind of a thing. So I couldn't tell if that was real or if it was a work. I couldn't tell if it was a shoot or a work. Like, where that could be true. It could be true that he has been double booked, and this is how he feels, and he's just putting it out there. Or it could be that he agreed with New Japan that he can't do it, and he said, look, I'll put out a video saying this, and, you know, it'll make me look a bit like I don't care about New Japan, and that'll build him up as a heel. So I don't know. I don't know, like, kind of what that relationship is like. But the bottom line is, as soon as we heard that there was going to be a double booking, I think we all knew that he would choose WWE over New Japan. I mean, WWE, I've got to think, are paying him more money. It's got much bigger prospects long term. And I feel like, yeah, it was a no-brainer. He was going to choose WWE. So, are New Japan upset? Probably. I mean, I can't imagine they're thrilled about it. But equally, I don't know if it's the biggest problem for them. Is it the biggest issue? I don't know that Carl Anderson is, like, that big of a star for them. I mean, he is one of their champions, but that never open weight championship's not the biggest of belts. It's not the IWGP or the junior heavyweight or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of a bit split on it. To me, it's not the biggest of stories. And I've always felt like he would just stick with WWE. Seems like that's what's going to happen. And I don't know, New Japan are probably very upset about it here. Hazza said, what's your thoughts on GCW apparently being on Raw? If this is true, my God, the matches we could have in terms of tag matches with Good Brothers against Briscoes. To be honest, I haven't read that report, so I did see some kind of comments. First of all, I do not want GCW anywhere near Raw. They can absolutely do one. I'm not, from the bits I've seen of their product, I'm not interested. GCW is not a promotion that I've got much affection for. That you tend to see a lot of clips coming out, which is more the sillier side of wrestling. And I think there's some, like, hardcore element stuff in there. To be honest, they strike me as a promotion that just try to do things, whatever they can, really, to shock and trend and grab attention that way. And why WWE would want to jump into the bed with them, I've got no idea. Because there's nothing about GCW that I look at that makes me think it's going to tailor to a family-friendly WWE audience. So, I mean, look, if there was a way of them working together that could fit the WWE style, then maybe there could be a way forward. But, God, that is not a relationship that fills me with much excitement. So let me just read this. So, Wrestling Observer reported that GCW has got something going on in regards to a relationship with WWE. The report comes after Janela tweeted, for everyone in GCW Wrestling, in case you missed our email, please promote Raw tonight. When was this? It must have been the other day. We are aware of the speculations and rumors surrounding GCW. We are excited for the future of GCW. It includes a number of exciting partnerships as well as game-changing announcements in regards to how people will stream and watch GCW events going forwards. Okay, well, here we go. Look, we are excited about the future of GCW, number of partnerships in regards to how people will stream and watch GCW going forwards. Okay, so my feelings on what I've just read there are that this is not a relationship that's going to see matches happening, but maybe a relationship that sees GCW going onto the WWE network. And it could be that when you subscribe to Peacock and you subscribe to the WWE network, you have access to GCW, similar like how you can view Progress and ICW and things along those lines. So if you are a fan of that kind of thing, then it's another reason as to why you should buy Peacock rather than them doing a partnership that results in like matches on screen. Despite the lack of comment, Janela tweeted on Friday there will be huge WrestleMania weekend news coming. Typically take place WWE's big show. Nothing else there. That's pretty much the article. So that's just read. That was on Wrestling Inc. So just reading what they've put makes me think it might be something to do with them going onto the WWE network. Fightful said, Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt will show up tonight, says Jamelia. Rotem said, days with AEW in its forbidden door, one could imagine they could afford at least one mahogany door for Punk's locker room. I think that would have saved a lot of money. Or just a lock. Imagine if they bought a lock. I think you can get locks for like a couple of dollars. You might even get them from like a Dollar Tree. I have no idea. But I can't imagine that a lock would be that expensive. So if that door had got a lock on it and they hadn't been able to have broken into his dressing room, and then obviously the fracas might not have occurred, maybe cooler heads would have prevailed, and there could have been a conversation rather than a brawl, and maybe Ace Steel wouldn't have gone around biting everyone like some kind of unobedient dog. I don't know. It's a messy situation and a regrettable situation, to be honest, because as I said, I don't personally right now, I don't see him going to WWE. So that makes me think that what's happened is we've lost CM Punk to wrestling. Wrestling has lost CM Punk. If you think that he was away, I mean, when did he come back? Was it 2021? I can't remember the exact date that he came back. I can't remember if it was the end of 21 or early 2022. But either way, he was gone since 2014. So it was either, 7 years or 8 years. So, do you know what I mean? He was gone for a long, long time. And he's come back and got burnt, basically, by this. He don't want to work for the biggest company. He's gone to the second biggest company. That's blown up in his face. I can see this being him walking away now. I think he's made his money. I think he might have got a bit of that final wrestling out of his system. He was picking up injuries quite a bit as well. So, yeah, it's really regrettable. It's really regrettable because I think what we might end up doing is just missing out on whatever was left within CM Punk. You know, whatever the stories were in there, whatever the matches were in there. I don't know that we get them now. Darwin said, Triple H won't welcome back CM Punk back to WWE. His personality and his opinions has gone down. Burn tree. I'm glad I'm not an AEW fan after that messy situation. Yeah, the only thing I would say about Triple H is that I think he has always put business first. I think he is someone, I mean, I'm thinking about Cody, for example, who destroyed the throne, yeah, and seemed to take a few personal shots at Triple H. Could have been the easiest thing in the world for Triple H to have not brought Cody Rhodes in. But I think if you're Triple H, or well, Vince brought him in technically, but I think Triple H could have made it difficult. But I think if you're Triple H, you know, you recognize that that's great for the business. And the reports were that when Cody was there, the first person or one of the first people to knock on his trailer door and say welcome back was Triple H. Triple H went out of his way to go to Cody's locker room, trailer thing, knock on the door, shake him by the hand, say welcome back. And I don't have any concerns for Cody being booked under Triple H. I mean, how ironic. Isn't it ironic that Cody was the one that was destroying the throne in AEW, taking little digs at Triple H and NXT, and now here he is. He finds himself not that long later being booked by the game. I should imagine, you just look at it and go, oh my God, wrestling, eh? You just never know. You just never know. Sometimes you can be in charge of someone and 1 week, next week they're in charge of you and it's all flipping around and just a right mess. Look at Bischoff and Vince. Do you know what I mean? They were heads of rival companies. Fast forward a few years, Bischoff is being introduced as a GM and he's working for Vince McMahon. It's just crazy how things flip around, turn around, come around. The wrestling world is just crazy. So yeah, I kind of feel like Triple H puts business first, a lot like Vince did. And I think that he could see value in CM Punk. How you get that value out of CM Punk without him destroying the locker room, the morale. Maybe you just use him like Brock. Perhaps you just book him for one match at WrestleMania. You do the build on a few Raws. He has his money. He stays out the way. And that's it. And maybe it's not that he's there week in, week out, and he's got a full schedule and all that kind of stuff. I mean, to be honest, this conversation's irrelevant because I do not think CM Punk wants to even go to WWE. So not only are we trying to justify why would WWE bring in someone that seems to cause such drama and seems to be so outspoken and everything, why would they want to introduce that? So not only is that your problem, your other problem is I don't think CM Punk wants to go there at all. Not one fiber of his body wants to go back to actually working for WWE. So yeah, I'm not seeing it. Trent said Colt's name should be Butch. Colt's name. Who? Colt Cabana? Colt? Who are we referring to, Trent Withrow? In my head, the only Colt that I know of is Colt Cabana, and I don't know why we're calling him Butch. So you'll have to give me a bit more depth to that one. Right, we are how long? 27 minutes. Wow, we are flying today. We are flying. So 27 minutes. If you are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 27 minutes to go. We know that rumors are that Bray is going to be on the show tonight. Obviously, all eyes are going to be on Liv Morgan's segment because she was very interesting last week, going a little bit dark. We saw her go a lot further, a lot more brutal backstage. Seems like they want to make her a little extreme. Seems like, in the build towards Extreme Rules, they were getting her to jump off the ring post. And I think she jumped onto, was it Sonya? Drove her through a table. And then last week we got her jumping off some scaffold, some metal work, and driving Sonya through a table backstage. So it seems like they're trying to push her into that kind of female Jeff Hardy, anything goes, extreme, get the tables kind of persona, added with a little bit of darkness in there as well, which is kind of interesting. That's an interesting way to take the Liv Morgan character. So yeah, I'm down for seeing that evolution and seeing where we go with that. So Liv against Sonya tonight. Sheamus and Solo should be a banger. We've got the women's tag titles being defended, and Logan Paul is going to be on the show telling us about how he is the table, and then we can laugh at him, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Godley said, if AEW went bust, you could only bring in 6 wrestlers. Who would you bring in, and who would Hunter want? Well, I feel like that's a big question. I mean, I can do a couple, right? Otherwise, we might be here for quite a while. I feel like the wrestlers that Hunter would want, I feel like Wardlow is a name that keeps getting mentioned all the time, connected with WWE. I think if there's someone that's got size and someone that has got the ability to have, decent wrestling match and can talk, I think WWE will always be interested. If you're a big guy, who is pretty smooth in the ring, doesn't get lost, can put a decent match on, and has got a good promo to them, WWE will always be looking in your direction. So I feel like Wardlow is a no-brainer. And if you look as to where AEW got Wardlow not that long ago, they had him to a point where people were like doing the Goldberg chants, Wardlow, Wardlow. He'd come down in that feud with MJF. He was like red hot. There was so much excitement. So, I feel like Wardlow would be one. WWE would look to get him back to that level of excitement. And then the other's got to be MJF, hasn't it? MJF is just an incredible talker. He's got the ability to just captivate. That's really the best word you can use for his segments. Every time MJF is on screen, you kind of drop what you're doing and you have to watch, because something significant is going to come out of that segment. It's not often you see an MJF segment and you go, there wasn't really anything there, was there? Or it's a bit underwhelming. Normally, there's something in there that makes you go, man, that was cool. Like some kind of like witty line or personal dig or something. So I feel like MJF is just one of the best, most comfortable talkers on the microphone. I think that's always valuable in pro wrestling. His in-ring, there's a few question marks around. He's not terrible, but it's hard to sit here and give you a list of 5-star MJF matches. But that's not a concern for WWE. WWE like to tell stories, build up to matches, and then try and put on the best match possible. And, look, what will be, will be. That's basically, how it goes in WWE. If it's a banger, fantastic. If it misses the mark, oh, well, we'll build to the next thing. On we go. Yeah, it's the never-ending soap opera. On we go. So someone like MJF that is going to be able to build matches because of his promos and then put on decent matches and with the right person, great matches. Gotta think he's in the mix. So, yeah, those two are the two that I would think would be around the top of the tree. And I wouldn't really argue with those, to be honest. I wouldn't really argue. I wouldn't mind Britt Baker coming over. I feel like Britt Baker is someone that would be a big star in WWE. She's shown that she can cut promos. She's shown that she's an excellent heel. And I would love like Britt Baker against Becky, Britt Baker against Bianca, Britt Baker against Charlotte. Like, there's so many great matches that you could do with Britt Baker. So I feel like she would be a good addition as well. So I know there's a lot of hate for AEW and there's a lot of people that, aren't fans of AEW, and that's totally fine. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. I think what's undeniable about AEW is that they do definitely have some talent there. There's definitely some talent. Definitely some talent that I think would really work in WWE. So just a couple of names for you. But Days, you missed Super Chat. I apologize. Let me go up. Got a couple. Eric, shout out to you, dude. Said, did you get the WWE Legends line where you are? No, we don't get those lines. Those lines are Target exclusives, I believe, and we do not have Target in this country. So those Legends lines, anything that's a Walmart exclusive or a Target exclusive, obviously a Ringside exclusive, you can't get them. The only way you can get them, sometimes Wrestling Shop does bring some over, but even Wrestling Shop can't get a hold of them. So that makes it very difficult. I have seen some of those kind of collectors, like in the normal figure line, there tends to be 6 figures, and then there tends to be a 7th that's like an exclusive for Target or an exclusive for Walmart. I have seen a few of those pop up in Smith's, but that's it. That's it. I mean, when I went to America in 2018, I was just hitting the exclusives hard, man. I was going to any Walmart I could get to, any Target I could get to. And really, my focus was on, at the time, it was Hall of Champions, I think. Hall of Champions line. And I don't think the legends weren't back at that point, but it was Hall of Champions in Target. I can't remember what the exclusives. I think Flashback line was in Walmart. Hall of Champions was in Target, and I was just trying to get what I could. So sadly not. It's not something that's really that possible over here. Being a wrestling figure collector in the UK is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating because we've got Smith's, which is amazing. I would argue Smith's is one of the greatest like toy shops for wrestling figures in the world, but they only tend to carry the base lines. You can only get like, a Elite 96, Elite 95, basic line, championship showdowns, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You ain't getting any exclusives there. So it's very frustrating. And it was also like hit and miss with things like Ultimate Editions. Like, I don't think Smiths carry them. So even trying to get Ultimate Editions in the UK is a nightmare. There's just nowhere seemingly that sell them. Maybe Wrestling Shop again is your only place, but they have to import them, so the cost goes up. So yeah, I feel for my fellow wrestling figure fans out there in the UK because it's hard. It's hard. Niall A04 said, "Hope all is well. Red background instead of blue." Yeah, I just jumped onto the wrong one, to be honest. I have several that are like just set up ready, and my head was just so focused on like Bray and where we were. I just jumped on, didn't even think about it. So I'm sure we can get through. I'm sure we'll find a way of battling through and getting through to the show, which is in 18 minutes now. 18 minutes. Days, is Marseille fighting LA Knight tonight, or is Mansoor getting a rematch? There's no news, or there wasn't any news on any matches for LA Knight tonight. So I'm not expecting anything for him, to be honest. Evil Angel said, really hoping we get another Bray segment tonight. We have more questions than answers, and I really want some answers. Couple of things I would say. First of all, there are reports we will be getting a Bray segment, so your wish should be coming true. Second of all, I do remember from the Firefly Funhouse days that this is sort of how things go. You always have more questions than answers. Like, you will get some answers. For example, we know what White Rabbit was all about now, so we got an answer there. It was leading us towards Bray Wyatt's return, so we got an answer there. Obviously, we want to know what's next for Bray, and we will get answers in regards to that, but a good chunk of things we might never actually get answers on. I think if you didn't watch the Firefly Funhouse, and you're maybe new to wrestling, or you're new to Bray, and you only got into it during lockdown or this year or whatever, just worth knowing that, like, really, when it comes to Bray, I think he keeps a lot of things a mystery. For example, if you look at a lot of his old tweets, some of them might make a bit more sense now because you can go back and make a few connections because, things he might have tweeted in the past now actually correspond to things that he's talking about now. They didn't really make the great deal of sense back then. People will have had theories about what he was talking about, but obviously those theories probably were wrong at the time. And now that he's referencing them, there's new theories that people have. Still not answers, theories, but if it's actual answers that you're hoping for, it can be a bit of a frustration. I always wanted to know, like, where the Funhouse was, what was, and that was never seemingly answered. We always wanted to know what was Ramblin' Rabbit, like, scared of. Why was Funhouse Bray always shutting up Ramblin' Rabbit? And what was Ramblin' Rabbit going to expose? Do you remember that was a big mystery? Ramblin' Rabbit seemingly was always on the verge of exposing something, but always kept getting shut up, and as a result could never. Now, there's theories as to what that was. There's theories about where the Funhouse was, and there's theories about what Ramblin' Rabbit was going to expose, but no actual complete answers. So yeah, that can be a little frustrating sometimes. But equally, I would say it's probably a strength as well, because it leaves it to you for you to make your own mind up as to what it is. So as frustrating as it can be to not get all the answers that you want, it can also be a bit of a positive because it can then be whatever you want. And then it can feel a lot more personal to you. Because imagine if you got the answer and it just didn't quite make sense. Imagine if you got the answer and you go, well, hang on, that doesn't work because of this. Or hang on, no, that's not the direction that this should be going in. And then, like, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't feel as personal to you. Whereas where it's kept open, you can kind of make it what you want and then it works for you. So it's kind of clever in a way. It's kind of clever. So I don't know. When it comes to Bray, obviously the big things like who's he fighting? Are we going to get a family? Is he going to be alone? We're going to get answers to that. So that's what we're looking at. But when it comes to like some of the other stuff, the more peripheral things, we might just end up kind of leaving some of that stuff behind, and then you'll just have to make of it whatever you will. But that's why people love the theory videos, because it kind of gives some perspective on what other people are thinking and how other people are decoding these things. And it gives you an idea of where other people's heads are at. And that is the closest we get sometimes to the answers, or what we think the answers actually are. So yeah, people love like the theory videos. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be something to talk about today. So my plan today is obviously the watch along. As soon as we're done with the watch along, I'm sure there'll be a Bray segment that we need to do a video on. Normally, the first video that comes out is straight after the watch along, and that tends to be quite broad strokes. It's kind of like, this happened, early theories are this and this. Let's see where it goes. That tends to be the first video that comes out. And then, obviously, as more theories come out, more conversations are had, more things are found, a video will then come out on the channel. Maybe tomorrow. To be honest, tomorrow's a bit crazy on the channel because we've got UFC 280. And then I think it's Halloween Havoc afterwards, NXT Halloween Havoc. So it might actually be that a more in-depth kind of Bray video drops on Sunday. So that's kind of what I'm working with. So yeah, we've got the review about 40 minutes afterwards. And then, as we said, UFC 280 tomorrow. Eric said, your Fiend coverage made my son a fan of Bray. That's awesome. I'm glad that your son is enjoying wrestling at the moment. And I think what Bray's doing right now is genuinely like amongst the most exciting. I really am looking forward to his segments. And I think that the White Rabbit campaign, or project, as Triple H said, I think that was executed perfectly. I think they did such a good job of that. It was so engaging and interesting. That was a massive success. Now he's come back, and that very real, very honest, very raw promo that he cut. I mean, I've not seen anyone saying anything bad about that. Not one person, not one review. Jim Cornette even like had high praise for it. Like, everyone has seemingly really enjoyed that promo. Everyone now is just like looking to see where this thing is going. So yeah, so far top marks, tick, 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 tick. Absolutely great. And as we said, big segment tonight. Right, why is the UFC on box office? That's not normal, says Exposing. It's on box office in the UK because, unfortunately, UFC is on at a good time for the UK. So that means that I think they're anticipating more people being able to watch it. The reason why it doesn't tend to be a pay-per-view in the UK is because it is obviously on in the middle of the night. And I think that people aren't really likely to stay up for it if there's no kind of big British person involved. So, you know, the majority of people in the UK will probably just go to sleep and try and catch it, you know, in the next morning or whatever. And by that point, you can't really be charging. So that's why in the UK it tends to be free. But tomorrow it's actually on at like 2 p.m. Everyone's awake. Tons of people, and it's a massive card as well. There might even have been an argument they would have charged for this in the middle of the night because it is such a big card that like they know that this has got a lot of interest. So Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but tomorrow is sadly one that we're going to have to pay for in the UK. Eric said, Cicada 3130 influenced his Cicada logo, I think. Yeah, I agree. It's one that we did touch on in, I don't know, one of the theory videos we did. I appreciate those theory videos, do come out quite often, so maybe keeping up with like everything that we discuss is a bit tricky. Certainly where they're being chucked onto both channels as well. But as I said, the reason why we do that is because I don't want to just keep bombarding the same channel with like video after video after video on the same day. I want to make sure that we're trying to space things out. So, you know, sometimes there might be a video that goes up on this channel and then a video will go on the second channel. That video on the second channel is not because I don't like it. It's because I don't want to put it on this channel so close to another video. So the stuff that goes over on that second channel is as big, as important, sometimes more important than the stuff that goes over here. Like, some of the biggest things we've spoke about have gone onto that second channel. So, yeah, if you're not subscribed to that Wrestling Days Clips channel, have a think about it, because if you are into the Bray stuff, we are using both channels. Russell Andy said, I could see Punk return into WWE for a Hall of Fame induction. I think if they were to put him in the Hall of Fame, which he absolutely should go into, it would be very interesting to see if he would accept or not. That would be very interesting. Yeah, I don't know what he would say. I genuinely don't know. He got his release papers on the day of his wedding. Obviously, he got into a big lawsuit with the WWE doctors. He's not got a great relationship with Triple H, but there's been so much that's happened since then, most notably the AEW fallouts, that it's very hard to know kind of where his head is at right now and kind of what he's thinking. So, yeah, I genuinely don't know if he would accept or not, but I think that there was a chance that he could come in for like a Hall of Fame thing. Eric said, there is a rabbit hole. What if we are in Bray's arc? Bray's arc? What, like Noah? I don't think I am. I don't think I'm in an arc. Do you mean arc? Arg? I don't. If you meant arg, I actually don't know what arg is. Hang on, let me Google it. Arg. Arg. Fierce stub. Oh, I didn't know this. An arg is an alternate reality game. I've never heard of this. An ARG, an alternate reality game. What are some examples of that? And why can't that website be reached? Examples of ARG. Ong's hat. What the hell is Ong's hat? I don't think we're in Ong's hat. The White Door. I have never heard of these. The White Door, Dema, Cypher Hunt, Afterbirth, The Black Watchman, Potato Sack. Perhaps we're in Bray's Potato Sack. Lewis Hamilton's Secret Life. What is this? Centered around Lewis Hamilton, a secret agent in the game, showcasing a new Reebok technology. What? What the hell is this? Players have to work to solve puzzles and complete tests online and mobiles in the real world. What the hell is Lewis Hamilton's Secret Life? Oh, man. Well, do you know what you've done? You've sent me down a rabbit hole. You've sent me down a rabbit hole now. Guess what? I'm Googling Lewis Hamilton Secret Life game. That's what I'm doing. Lewis Hamilton is a British Formula One driver, for anyone that didn't know. I can't even see any images of it. I have no idea what this is. I feel like I've gone onto the dark web. You know, when you just like abort. I'm going to abort. Did you see reports that Tony said Billy Gunn can attend the DX reunion as long as WWE commentary name dropped AEW on air and there's 1.8 million watching? I did see that, yeah. Apparently that was the request. Obviously they didn't do it. Yeah, fine. I don't care, to be honest. It would have been nice for Billy Gunn to have been there, but I mean, was something missing? Yeah, I suppose you could say it was. It would have been great for him to have been there, but it's a hard trade-off, isn't it? Like, if it was just Billy Gunn at the bottom with AEW's logo next to his name, like, it's not the big, but you know that fans would have made a big deal out of it. Do you know what I mean? Fans would have made a big deal out of it. That would have been, even though it would have been like a little thing next to his name, it would have been massively blown up on social media. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason why it never came together or not. I don't know, obviously. I'm at SmackDown. I'm ready to acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him, my friend. Have a fantastic time. I'm sure you will. It's looks like it's going to be a very entertaining show. So I'm sure you will have a great time. Bob said the only reason Billy Gunn was missing was because Road Dogg was there. Bray's promo last week was a work. He is fooling us all, says Chris. Yeah, it could be. I think it was genuine, to be honest, because I think that he really did want to thank the fans. If you think about like what he's been through, I believe that that's something that he wanted to do, was to like thank the fans. So I feel like it's genuine, but there is a but. I do wonder as to whether he needed to reveal as much as what he did. And it did feel very much like it was him being turned up, as I keep saying, to like 11. It did feel very much like he was. It did feel like he was sharing a lot and portraying himself as being very emotional and vulnerable, and it was a lovely counter to what we were expecting, you know. So, but I feel like the content of it, delivery, not sure. But I feel like the content of it was legit. X-Pac said the night before Billy was going to be there and woke up to news that he wouldn't be. Rock versus Roman, night 1 for Family Honor. Cody versus Roman for the titles, night 2, says MJF. I acknowledge Days as the tribal chief. Well, that's a bad move. What we're going to do is get ready for SmackDown because we have literally got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go, my friends. 2 minutes to go. But my son is gutted he can't watch UFC. Should I buy it for him? That is your call, my friends. That is your decision. I think that Bray's promo was genuine emotion. It's also being tied into a new gimmick. The talk of saving people gives me a very interesting thought, especially with Uncle Howdy in opposition, says Evil Angel. Do you think Tony was wanting to grab some WWE eyes that might have heard about AEW but not given it a shot? I think that he wanted to... I mean, yeah, there's a chance he wanted to do that. I don't know that it would have achieved that. I don't know that anyone's going to see a logo and see that Billy Gunn is now there and think to themselves, oh, I'm going to check that out. I genuinely don't know. I'm sure it would have worked for someone in the world. I'm sure someone in the world would have thought and along those lines. But I don't know how successful that would have been. It certainly wouldn't have resulted in hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, like, if CM Punk being on the show every week can't get like a load of people to watch every week, like, you know, they still around 950 to 1 million. Like CM Punk being there can't result in them getting to 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 on a regular basis. A little graphic on Raw ain't going to do nothing. It ain't going to do anything, right? I think it's more just trying to get the buzz on social media. I think it's more just trying to... It's a little pride thing in a way. You know, the AEW logo shown on Raw, I feel like that's more of a... Not a statement, but kind of... You get my point. It's kind of like a little dig, if you will, to WWE. It's like, yeah, you can have him, but you've got to do You've got to do this. And you've got to know that they absolutely wouldn't want to do that. And they didn't do that. Right, it's fight night. Fight night, we are underway with Sheamus. Sheamus making his way out. So Sheamus against Solo Sikoa is going to open up the show. Normally the first show is... versus Solo. Normally the first show is... or the first match is given a bit of time. So I think we might be able to breathe for a bit and not worry about anything Bray for maybe the first half an hour or so. Ramblin' Rabbit was going to expose Uncle Howdy. Well, to be honest, I don't think he was, but I do think you've now got the possibility and the option of going down that road because it was never actually revealed what he was going to expose. It now means that what he was going to expose could be something new. I don't think it was going to be Uncle Howdy back in the day, but we are now in a situation where it could be anything. Banger after banger after banger. Banger after banger after banger. I did just see someone saying, oh, we won't hear anything from Bray for the first hour and 50. Oh, we did just get a little something there, though. Little something there. This is what I think we will get, is little moments like that. Little things where we will get little bits. Here comes Solo. So we did just get a little glimpse at a lantern, and we saw the hawk moth. Here comes Solo. The door and Bray. It's nothing that we've not seen before, but I think you will get little bits like that. Right, Solo making his way down. Days can't wait to see Logan Paul does or says to Roman tonight, said Chris. Solo Sikoa is made his way down. So we've got Sammy, we've got the Usos. Obviously, Solo has got the towel over his head as he jumps into the ring. Solo against Sheamus then to open up SmackDown. Obviously, a lot of people join in to want and see what's next for Bray. I'm just looking to see if there's anything for Bray sign-wise in the crowds, and can't say I've seen anything yet. Okay, already these two locking up. Got Solo in the one corner. We've got Sheamus in the other. But did you miss the glitch? No, we saw it. Long Beach Hippie said, I saw Bo Dallas at LAX today. Dude has got new long hair. It's incredibly long. Okay. I think Uncle Howdy is a mask with red eyes. Uncle Harper could be a mask with blue eyes, says Bradley. Dominic, did I get to your comment at all? No. Days, how are you? Are you excited for UFC 280? Very excited, dude. Very much looking forward to what we've got coming up. So yes, I am excited. It's going to be a good card. I think the whole card looks like it's going to be really, really interesting, really tasty. And we should be in for a fantastic night. It's on at a weird time. It's obviously super early, but I think the card is so strong, people aren't going to mind, aren't going to care. Miz is injured due to bursa sack. What's that? I read that Curtis Axel could be the rabbit shown in the vignettes. Don't know why. We know that rabbit is actually just stock footage. So we did a video just the other day on it, and it is just stock footage. It's not actually a rabbit. Exposing says, please have Bo be the Howdy character, trying to entice his brother back to the dark side. That's interesting. That could be a direction we go. Solo's persona is like the new Samoa Joe, said BBB Yipsy. Hello, Legend Killer. Hope you are well. Corey said, do you think more tag teams will return? I think that we will get some more tag teams. I think they're going to continue growing the tag division. Whether that will be AOP, really can't say. But I certainly think that more tag teams is definitely an option. Seems like Triple H wants to build up the tag division. I think Sammy will cost Solo the match, said Chris. You know that Butch is Porky Pig with 3 little pigs with a hat? I have no idea what that means. Right, we've got Solo on the outside. We've got Sheamus in the ring as Solo pulls on the arm. Sheamus back into the ring, goes over, grabs Solo by the head. Sheamus spills to the outside. Solo sits on the edge of the ring. At the moment, Sheamus is down by the ring steps. Solo collides into the arm. And that might be enough to take us to a commercial break. 7 minutes in. Yeah. Looks like we're going to our first commercial break. So if you are just joining us, we've opened with a match. And it is Sheamus against Solo. And we've also had a little Bray segment. Just a little interference moment, that's all. CM Punk might return. AEW are negotiating a buyout of his contract, and Triple H wants him back, says Gordon. Mark said, are you seeing anyone getting called up after Halloween Havoc? I feel like Braun is not too far away. I mean, it's hard to know what more you can do with Braun, really. He's already faced some decent level of opposition. Yeah. I don't see Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez coming up. I feel like they're way too young. I know they're high on them, but we're in no rush. I mean, I feel like Roxanne Perez has only just arrived. So, yeah, there's no real rush for either of those. Toxic Attraction, Mandy Rose, I think there's a chance that they come up. They have been there for a little while now. Braun, as we said, I feel like there's a chance for him. Carmelo Hayes, maybe, could be a chance for him. And we did see Cameron Grimes on, was it SmackDown or Raw the other day? So maybe a chance there as well. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a few bubbling, but there's no rumors of anyone that's coming up. So can't really sit and say, oh, we're going to get this person, that person, blah, blah, blah. Bob said, it'd be cool if Bray could hack a commercial. I know no company would go for it, but that would be game changer. Well, the way you would do it is WWE would have to buy a commercial and start advertising a product which doesn't exist, or they could sell themselves and have Bray interrupt that. And in fact, you could probably partner with another company because, in all fairness, if it was, say, Snickers, who have done a lot of work with WWE in the past, or KFC, we've seen various wrestlers dressing up as Colonel Sanders. Imagine if it was one of those companies that WWE was working with and Bray interrupted one of their commercials. That would be amazing for them because that commercial would go all over social media and would be seen by way more people than just the little segments that they had actually purchased. So that's actually a very, very clever way of using social media to get your product out to more eyes. So it's a really good idea. and, you know, someone like KFC or Snickers or someone that has already got a good relationship with WWE, that would be a good proposition to take to them, to be honest. They would even cover the cost of the commercial. So it'd be cool for Bray. It'd be great for that brand because everyone would want to see that commercial that Bray has interrupted. And, you know, it'd be something different as well. So it's win, 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 win. Good idea. Jaden Cage said, who do you think is going to win the ladder match tomorrow? So ladder matches for the North American Championship. There's 5 people, I believe, that are involved. I don't think Carmelo Hayes, because, like, why take the belt off him if you're just going to put it back on him? So I wouldn't go with Carmelo Hayes. I feel like that's probably going to be someone different. I'm trying to think who the other 4 are. I feel like, is it Von Wagner, one of them? Oro Mensah might be one of them in it. Let me have a look. Let me have a look and see who's actually in this as we return to SmackDown. NXT Halloween Havoc. NXT Halloween Havoc. So we've got Carmelo, Oro Mensah, Wesley, Von Wagner, and Nathan Frazier. I think they'll go... Not Carmelo. Oro's only just arrived. Wes, Von, or Nathan Frazier feel like the ones I'm leaning towards. But I can't really give you a good shout for any of it. I mean, Von Wagner is a big guy. You could really use the North American Championship to build him up, have him on the show each week. That could be interesting. Nathan Frazier has just had a good series of matches against Axiom. Wesley's a little bit lost at the moment, so he would actually really benefit from it. I personally would go Von Wagner. I would go Von Wagner. I don't know why, but I would be looking to get Wesley back into a tag team. I feel like when he was in MSK, like he felt very comfortable at home as a solo star. Just hasn't quite got it. I mean, I feel like he's now having to compete with people like Carmelo and Nathan Frazier, and that's just hard for him to do. Not impossible, but hard for him to stand out in such a impressive kind of aerial focused roster where you've got Axiom, you've got Nathan Frazier, you've got Carmelo Hayes. How does a Wesley stand out? So, right, we've got Sheamus going up top. Sheamus climbing up top at the moment. Solo goes over and big strike pulling on the arm here, Solo. Solo climbing up. We're 13 minutes into the show. Sammy and the Usos cheering on as Solo has got a Samoan drop from the middle rope to Sheamus. 1, 2. Sammy bouncing up and down on the outside. Sammy not happy with the referee there. I think he feels the referee was maybe counting a little bit slow. Solo seemed to like slip off the middle rope, to be honest. Like that kind of Samoan drop didn't have a nice arc to it. It's not like there was a lovely... it just sort of slipped and stumbled back a little bit. Solo trying to get back up to his feet. So is Sheamus. Both guys on the feet, but it's Solo that's calling for the beginning of the end, telling Sheamus to get up. Got Sheamus back elbow to the side of the head. Solo being driven back to the corner. Elbows by Sheamus. Sheamus repeatedly throwing them in. Sheamus moving away, picks up Solo. He's got him up, plants him down. Great work by Sheamus. Eric said, I got it. Wesley and Ali. That would be pretty fun, actually. That would be pretty fun. I wouldn't mind those two being together. I think they'd make a fantastic tag team if they had a cool, credible name. And they had like some really cool match in ring gear and everything. I could see them like doing really, really well. Yeah, I like it, Eric. I like it. Right, we've got the big Sheamus clubbing blows. Butch on the outside is copying them as well as Solo slumps down. He's been absolutely pounded to the ground. Big roar from the crowd. Crowds into this first match so far. Solo will learn to wear shoes like the Usos for better balance and traction, says AR1. CRX said this match is going to be a DQ. Oh, big kick. Sheamus with a brogue. Sammy distracts. Sammy distracting. Now we get a super kick. Strikes coming in by Ridge. Super kick to Ridge. He goes over the commentary table. Now they're tipping over the commentary table. Damn, that's cool. They've tipped over the commentary table. That's cool. Sheamus comes crashing down onto the Usos. Two of the Brawling Brutes are trapped underneath a commentary table at the moment. This match feeling like it's getting to the business end. Sammy grabbing a hold of the leg of Sheamus. Sheamus kicks him away. That's going to allow Solo an opportunity now to surely finish this encounter. Slams him down. Solo gets the win. Solo gets the victory. Now they're just beating up on Sheamus. But it is a win for Solo Sikoa. Now the Bloodline are just beating down on Sheamus. Now they're getting chairs and everything. Right now, the Bloodline are just absolutely destroying the Brawling Brutes. Now they've got Sheamus. They've got his arm through a chair. Gonna look to use the chair. Oh, smashing a chair into a chair repeatedly. That's on the ring steps. That is brutal. Sammy saying, we're done. Sammy calls off the attack. Sammy standing at... He's not gloating, Sammy. He's standing over Sheamus. He joined in with the attack, though. Right, Bray Wyatt. A message from Bray next. A message from Bray next. A message from Bray. A message from Bray. Why? Bray next. I love aggressive, Jay. Sheamus destroyed. Why does Triple H recently love destroying commentary tables, said AJ. It's just something to do in it, really. Why not? They're there. They've had it too easy for too long. Those commentary tables are just arrogant. Think they own the place. Live 2 weeks from tomorrow. Crown Jewel. The following message is brought to you by the New World Wyatt, said Stone 9540. All the new guys from the old days are jobbing now. Time flies when you're drunk as hell. Blazed said, message from Bray next hour. Yeah. Message from Bray next month. A message from Bray next year. WWE's probably trolling. Uncle Howard is going to glitch it. Well, they're not trolling, are they? Because I don't think WWE are claiming to be in control of the Uncle Howdy thing. I feel like that is sort of hacking in, interrupting the show. I mean, it keeps interrupting like the Raw broadcast. I I don't think in the kayfabe world that's something WWE are doing. I think that in the kayfabe world, that's something that Uncle Howdy is doing himself. He's a cheeky one, isn't he, eh? He's a cheeky one. Trying to sabotage the show. Persona was the word you were looking for, says Retribution. I don't know what word I was looking for, to be honest, but thank you. Bob said they said he was next the whole show last week and he didn't come until the end. I think Uncle Howdy is Liz Truss's new role. Yeah. Well, in all fairness, I think Uncle Howdy would have done a better job with the economy rather than completely crash it like what seemingly happened over the past few weeks. So, thanks, Liz. Thanks, love. Yeah, imagine if Uncle Howdy was the new Prime Minister. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Excited, but also definitely a bit concerned. But also, it would make us look pretty cool on the world stage, I think. I don't know. He should go for it. I think he's got as good a chance as anyone. OC or Brawling Brutes should dethrone the Usos. Thanks, Liz. Days, my programming is a few seconds behind, so I'm going to watch this stream a few seconds behind. Greetings from the past, says Pyro. Pyro, shout out to you. Not that you've heard it yet, but you'll hear it soon enough. But yeah, shout out to you, dude. Oh, we're having so much fun in the future. You should join us. Join us. Right, here we go. Come on, give us something good. Give us something good. Match flow. Yeah. Progressive match flow. Yeah. Love progressive match flow. Last Friday, this is Ray being all sad. Mitchell said, message from Bray, drink more Ovaltine. It's a great message. In all fairness. In all fairness. Great message. A message from Bray after the break. Don't smoke. Guys, don't smoke. Yeah, drugs. Say no to drugs. That was this week's message from Bray Wyatt. I can't wait to meet future days. I'm about 20 seconds in the past, said Blaze Radio. Oh, we have so much fun in the future, dudes. It is wild. It is wild. Great message, said Daniel. Great message. That's what we need, actually. That's what we need. We need Bray just doing like different public service announcements. Guys, please, please, please do not inject yourself with a used needle. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. That was this week's message from Bray Wyatt. Big message. Big message. And the right message. Yeah. Vaping is 95% safer than cigarettes. So vape, said 8 Stories. Or don't. How about that? Don't smoke. Don't vape. That was this week's message from Bray Wyatt. Mitchell said, message from Bray, tip your waiter. Absolutely. And especially if they're fit. Right, we're backstage. Some kind of weird upside down drawing on that box, which is going to have a lot of people excited. A lot of people are going to be excited for that drawing. The flipper was that drawing? Look, and they are showing it you as well. Why is there an upside down drawing on a box? Please, someone. Thank you. We're backstage with Imperium and Ray. What is that drawing? That's a very interesting. Ray challenges. Ludwig Kine. It's another behind Ray on a red box. There's another one. Oh, yeah. Well spotted. Announce table is back together. Yeah. There's some words as well, but I don't know what it says. Perhaps it's a logo, or perhaps it's like a design of box or something. I don't know. Bray Wyatt. Here we go. Could be something. Could be nothing. Someone search boxes. Oh, here's Bray. Here he is. Here he is, guys. Oh, his new theme. Ding. I apologize for last week. Didn't get to finish what I'm saying. Feel like confessing. So here goes. Confess got problems. Wow. I go where the circle takes me. Big segment. Big segment. Talks about so hard to concentrate. Right, let's get this image across because there's a lot to unpack there. Pause said, what is the Bray 6? Is not a group, 6 characters of him. Also, do you think we see Bray Brock? Do I think we see Bray Brock? I think we see Bray Brock? I think there's a good chance we see Bray Brock at some point, yes. Okay, we've got Bloodline backstage. Trying to juggle all of this is a treat. Okay, so Bloodline said they're going to get Logan. Don't engage Logan. That was the message. Don't engage Logan. Usi. Yeah! The whole thing wouldn't be very Usi. Love it. The whole thing wouldn't be very Usi. He's getting all hot-heady. We'll have to see by the end of the night what really happens. Listen, I think we're going to hear from Uncle Howdy later in the show, by the way. And I am going to talk about the Bray segment, but I want to try and chuck it up as a separate video. So I'm just waiting for a good enough moment to get to what we need to get to. That moment might have presented itself. It has presented itself. Right, here we go. We are at commercial break, so let me do the... let me get the image. Massive, massive segment coming from Bray Wyatt on this week's SmackDown. So many answers to questions that we had in that segment. Let's get started by the fact that this was a backstage segment and the music Shatter was playing kind of in the background. I did feel like that music was just a touch loud at times. Like, I think they probably could have like turned it down a little bit. Not that it really got in the way of what Bray was saying, but I did just find it a little bit distracting at moments. That's by the by, though. What Bray said was that he wanted to apologize for last week because he didn't get a chance to finish what he wanted to say, but that was okay. He said that revenge is a confession of pain, and he still believes that. And that's what, you know, he always says. And so he feels like confessing to us. And so this was very interesting because it was obviously a lot more than what we got last week. Last week was a very real, very honest, very emotional Bray, but now we're getting into the meat of the story. And he said that he had stuff to confess to. What he said was, it's not hard to see that, you know, he's got a few kind of weaknesses. Things like anger can take him to places that he just does not want to go. And he says that he also wants to confess that he was happy being left alone. And he spoke about how, like, he just wanted to be alone, but he's come to realize that he needs all of us. And he says that we told him what he needed to do, and he can see that now. And so he was saying that he knows who, this was the big part, he knows who it is that interrupted him. Well, I believe that's who he was referring to. He said, I know who you are. And I believe he was talking about the masked person. I know who you are. I know what you're trying to do. I confess I am going to do horrible things. So Bray is on a collision course with that masked persona, person, character. Bray claims to know who it is. Now, obviously, it could turn out to be Bray, and there's a big theory that it's going to turn out to be Bray. There's other thoughts that it could be Bo Dallas, because obviously big reports he's coming back to WWE. But seemingly at the moment, they're on a collision course. Now, obviously, if this turns out to be Bray, that's obviously going to be quite interesting because that's a battle with himself in a way and a split personality. And that's kind of interesting. If it is someone different like Bo, that kind of puts him in a feud with Bo straight away. So whoever is behind that mask, like I need to tell you, is very important because that seemingly is going to be his first feuds. Obviously, if it turns out to be himself, he can't have a wrestling match with himself, right? So that's obviously going to take us down a completely different path. But really, really interesting segment here. I do expect more segments from SmackDown. I think we'll see and hear from Uncle Howdy a response. But yeah, at the moment, this is very, very interesting. And this segment puts us on a collision course. So let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. And we'll see what else SmackDown has got for us. That's my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts on it. I thought it was very interesting. I think there was a lot of stuff in there that kind of gave us a few more answers, a few more little bits. Like, we didn't know if he'd been kidnapped, for example. He hasn't. We didn't. I didn't think he had, in all fairness. But you know, when the lights went out, we don't know if someone had grabbed him. We don't know if someone had grabbed him in the week that had obviously just followed. So we got answers on that. We also know that he has not fallen in line with this new mass persona. They're seemingly on a collision course. So yeah, interesting stuff coming out of that segment. Right, we've got Liv coming down to the ring. I am going to get to the chat in a second. Bray Wyatt is going to do horrible things. Yeah, fun. There's I think the fact that's happened so early makes me think that we are going to get more from this tonight. Okay. So that's the Bray segment done. We are now going over to Sonya and Liv Morgan. So Sonya making her way down, Liv Morgan already in the ring. She's got a little smile on her face. Just looking at Liv's demeanor is going to be really important. She's got a bit of a, dare I say, a Harley Quinn vibe. She's got red and blue ring gear. That immediately red and blue makes me think of Harley Quinn. And she's got like eye makeup. She's already just purposefully smudged her lipstick. So definitely some interesting things going on with Liv Morgan right now as well. Liv goes down. Sonya going against the ropes. She goes down. So these two underway at the moment, kick out. I wouldn't be surprised if the lights flicker in this one. I'm sort of waiting for the lights to flicker. This car in control. Has Bray been on tonight? Yes. Who has the SmackDown Women's Championship now? It is Ronda. There was a red and blue light behind Bray backstage, said Godson. JP Ville, shout out to you, buds. JP said, Days, I know it's SmackDown, but I wanted to see what you thought of MJF's current status. Is he heel? Is he face? What did I miss Bray-wise? Well, we've literally just had a Bray segment. So the Bray segment is what we've just been kind of getting our teeth into. In regards to MJF, I really don't know. I had, it's not a criticism, but a concern about his promo the other day. I actually did voice this on an interview I did yesterday with Just Nick on his channel. I thought that the promo they did was obviously very good. I don't think anyone's going to say it wasn't. But it did kind of make MJF a face. MJF came across as quite a face in that promo. And then in the main event, it kind of felt like he wasn't, he wanted to wait. He wanted to wait and face Moxley when Moxley was 100% rather than taking advantage of him. So definitely feels like there is a face turn that's being teased. Definitely feels that way. So do I think he's a face or a heel? I think that is a very interesting question. And I think that it is kind of something that we're exploring at the moment. I can't quite give you an answer because I thought his promo was a very face promo. So I think there's a good chance that he could be turning. But the thing with MJF is it can always be a big ruse. So. Okay, so we are at commercial break. We've just had Sonya kicking Liv to the outside. We are seeing Liv with like a big smile on her face. So she seems to be kind of building upon what we saw at the end of Extreme Rules. Obviously, at Extreme Rules, she had a big smile on her face as she was being like put to sleep. And that kind of caused a bit of confusion. And then obviously we saw her with that backstage segment, and she was pretty brutal. And as we said, now this week, she's kind of got a bit of a Harley Quinn vibe to her ring gear. She's got a big smile on her face. Is Bray still to appear even after that segment? No, that was the only segment he's meant to be in, but I do expect Uncle Howdy interruption. I would be stunned if that's going to be the last thing we get. Lee said, I went to Clash. Coming out, I ordered a Liv t-shirt. It said 3 to 5 working days. All her merch and name has now been removed from Euroshop. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if there's like some manufacturing issues, or is new merch on the way. I've got to think it's just I don't know. I think the way it works is they just have a load of blank t-shirts, and then they just print them as the orders come in, I believe. So I don't know why they would sell out of them. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Could you imagine Liv does a promo and says, "Feed your head," says WWE fan. Do you think Bray fights all 6 of his personalities, but there are other wrestlers like Braun is Huskus, Joe Gacy, etc., and finally Bo is the Fiend? No, I don't think that. I never really felt like I can't say I never felt it, but once we saw the puppets, I felt pretty good, pretty confident that the faction was not going to be based on them, because we saw them, and those costumes did not look like permanent costumes to me. They looked like costumes that you put together for a one-off appearance. They did the job, but I don't believe were intended for like long-term. Those costumes did not look long-term to me. So, yeah, I sort of feel like we could get a Wyatt 6 faction. Dutch, Vincent, they've been heavily linked, of course, and Bo. But I don't think it's like you're going to be Huskus, you're going to be such and such. Because I think we saw the puppets come alive, and those costumes are not costumes that I think we see on a regular basis. The concept art that was drawn up for all the puppets coming alive was really dark and cool. And like, like the Huskus had like these like fangs, these tusks that were like coming up, and like it was all like really moody looking. Like the puppets we saw were very much just based on the puppets. There was still a dark twist to them, but I just sort of looked at it and thought, they look to me like that's a one-off thing. That looks to me like they've been made for Extreme Rules, not that we're gonna get them long term. That's why I didn't join in with the whole conversation of who do you reckon was Mercy? Who do you think was behind the mask of this person, that person? I just think they were local talents. I just think that they were local people, or maybe even Dutch and Vincent that were just around, and they, put them in the costumes or whatever. I didn't think, oh my God, that is definitely Grayson Waller. That is definitely Joe Gacy. I didn't think, I still don't think that. It could go that way, of course. Right, we are back underway, and at the moment, Sonya is in control. Bray saying he's going to do horrible things without feeling sorry makes me think of Who Killed the World? You Did. Us demanding him back is the reason Bray's going to kill the world, says Moldy Spoon. Sonya on her knees, Liv on her knees telling Sonya to bring it. Shoulder up there by Liv. Liv completely taken off the Euro website, not just her merch, but is still on the US website. My t-shirt is a month late. It was a blue Liv Forever one, said Lee. Well, I don't know what's happening there. I mean, if she's still on the WWE American one, I have no idea what's happened. Liv says, hit me, Sonya. She's getting in the face of Sonya. Sonya does slap her, and again. These slaps don't look brilliant from Sonya. Down goes Sonya. Strikes to the midsection. They don't look brilliant either. Some of these shots, I don't know why, some of these strikes just look really weak. Sonya goes to the outside, and Liv jumps out. She grabs Sonya, tries to shove her headfirst into the commentary table, drives her against the edge of the ring. Sonya goes into the barricades. Jessica at 8. Looks like it's going to be a count out. We're at 9. Liv still is smashing Sonya's head into the ring post, and that is it. We've got a count out. So, there's clearly a change here. I mean, I know it's stating the obvious, but Liv goes under the ring, grabs a chair. Throws the chair into the ring. So, double count out. This match a draw. Sonya's still down. The chair is the main event. Sloppy, but I like what they're trying to do with Liv, said Master Chief. Just Nick said, Liv has discovered her kinky side. We want tables, champs by the crowds. I'd imagine she's got a big smile on her face. She's grabbing another chair. There's several chairs that are being brought into the ring. Sonya is down in the corner. We haven't seen any interruptions. We haven't seen any lights out. I don't know why Sonya's not just getting out the ring. Sonya getting up to her feet. Liv comes over and we've got Sonya up in the corner. Chairs in the middle of the ring. Looks like Liv's going to go for a superplex. Crowd cheering. This will play well, man. The crowd will always appreciate seeing stuff like this. Superplex by Liv. So, superplex onto the chairs. That was too long, said Master Chief. That looked painful, said Leo. Liv channeling the Harley Quinn side of herself. Enigma, shout out to you. Looking forward to UFC 280 tomorrow, said Enigma. I agree, dude. That show's going to be huge. We're going to start nice and early for that one. I think the show starts 3:30 UK time. Every chance that we start like an hour before, maybe. It's going to be a big show. Days, just something to think about. There are 6 people in the bloodline and there are 6 characters in the Bray Wyatt segment. Do you think that will happen between them? There's 6 people in the bloodline, 6 characters. Do I think bloodline and a Wyatt 6 would have a match? Yes, I do. I do. Right, we're seeing LA Knight. Yeah. So we're just seeing LA Knight making his way down. So I think this is just a little promo to introduce LA Knight to the main roster. Obviously, there's going to be a chunk of people that don't know about LA Knight. Right, Braun and Amos face-to-face coming up next. Live next. No heel turn for Liv. No, not seemingly not a heel turn. I think they're just trying to go extreme with her, to be honest. Okay, we are at commercial break. I'm on my lunch. Working nights, not fun. Thank you for getting me through the shift, said Lee. Lee, shout out to you, dudes. I've done that many times working. Well, I still do. But when I was in retail, I worked nights quite a bit. So I know your pain, dude. But yeah, it's an all right show at the moment. So first match was pretty fun. Then we got the Bray segment. The Bray segment was very interesting, kind of pushed things forward a bit. Not loads. I do think this is going at the pace that I thought it would. This is why we've said for a long time it's going to be very difficult to tell this story and build a feud, because you're going to need at least a few segments in each show for Bray. And you can do that. I mean, you can definitely do that. We could get something later with Uncle Howdy in the second hour, for example. But if this is the pace that we're going at, then obviously it's going to be very difficult to build up something in time for Crown Jewel, which is only in a few weeks' time. We've only got 2 weeks. So I think it's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks tomorrow. So interesting segment, push things forward a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if it's like the revolutionary segment that people were maybe hoping for. But look, SmackDown's not done, so let's see what else we get. Then, obviously, we end up with that Liv Morgan match. She is seemingly embracing a darker side now. I think they're going to try and make her someone that loves tables, loves chairs, loves doing big spots. We saw her jumping off the metalwork backstage, crashing through the table. Now, this week, she's doing a superplex and driving Sonya into some chairs. And doing it as well, like with a big smile on her face. So she is being positioned as someone that enjoys taking things to the extreme, which is not what we've seen from her in the past. But that's seemingly where this character is going. So, but no lights out, no Uncle Howdy interruptions, nothing like that, which is very strange. Because I really thought there would be something connecting her to, like, the Bray stuff. Obviously, like, the smudged makeup, the smile on her face, all that kind of stuff. That could be a little hint we're going to somewhere Bray-esque. But nothing more than a hint. Right, we are back. We've got a Viking Raiders promo vignette. Seeing a lady Viking again. Sarah Logan. There's the shields. Pounding their axes on the shields. And again, that's it. I do expect that when we see the Viking Raiders next, they'll have Sarah Logan with... I don't know why you would show a woman so often and then just bring them back without her. I haven't heard any news that she has actually re-signed, but I am expecting her. So, Braun Strowman making his way down now. Mitchell said, if this was Vince booking Amos and Braun, we'd likely get 4 arm wrestling matches. Hopefully Triple H changes that. I'm not fully convinced. Okay, yeah, you're right. We would definitely be getting some arm wrestling moments. Right. Braun and Amos face to face. So 5 minutes till we get to the halfway point. Braun in the ring. The Rock supports Liverpool. Who would have thought it, said Scottish Outlooker. Wyatt Queen said, great SmackDown so far. Loads of action. Mine's still blown over the Bray promo. My new goal is to learn Bray's new theme song on the piano. Oh. Well, the first part's easy. I've mastered that. I need to find the key, but... Why don't you come out with Amos right now and look into the eyes of a real monster? Okay, MVP coming out. Bringing Wyatt in is all good, but who will he go for? Well, as we just said, it feels like he's on a collision course with whoever is behind the mask. So it feels like it's heading that way. But ultimately, yes, I can see him feuding with the Bloodline and Roman. I feel like they've got to have a match, haven't they? I don't want to say they're the two biggest stars, but I think you could make an argument for that right now. Okay, MVP has come out. Braun Strowman, always the biggest and strongest until last week. Are you going to see Black Adam? I'm not, dudes. No. Biggest and strongest. I don't watch any Marvel films. I ain't got nothing against them. It's just not my kind of thing. Okay, so Logan. We've got MVP in the ring. We've got Braun in there. No Omos at this stage. I advise you to stay away from Omos, says MVP. Because you'll be face to face with a literal giant and you'll be exposed. If he wants to show the world I'm normal, why doesn't he show it at Crown Jewel? It is a challenge. MVP has accepted the challenge. So Braun versus Omos at Crown Jewel. It's not the biggest surprise, is it? I think we all knew it was heading that way. Could we get a match between Bray and Uncle Howdy? If Uncle Howdy is a separate person, then yes. If it's Bray, then no. I need to see a powerbomb on Omos, said Billy. About to put a video of Scoob on Twitter, said Wes. Dominic said, if Cameron Grimes was to get called up, how would you book him? Really difficult, because to be honest, I don't like his booking in NXT. He feels a bit like an afterthought at times. I enjoyed him when he was with the $1 Million Man. That's probably the most I enjoyed him, was when he was with Ted DiBiase. I really enjoyed that. So I don't know if I would put him with a legend, or he's a fun guy, but you've got to give him some fun to do. So I would be looking at trying to make it fun somehow. Credible wrestler who can have fun. It's a bit R-Truth in that way, really. But I feel sorry for R-Truth, because R-Truth fell into the 24/7 hole and stayed there for so long. And I think in the past, R-Truth was used as like the comedy guy, but I don't think the comedy guy gets much respect. I feel like Cameron Grimes could do comedy, but be respectable in the ring as well. So if I was to book some, I'd be heading in that direction. How that actually looks, though, I'm not too sure, but I did like him with $1 Million Man, so there might be some legends involved. Right, we've got, look at Omos, man. He does tower over Braun. Look at this. That is insane. I have met Braun. That is insane. That is insane. It's not until you see these two face to face. That is insane. Look at it. It's like a father and a son. He pushes Braun out of the ring. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It's really easy to forget how impressive Omos actually is until you see moments like that where he is face to face with Braun. That is insane. That is insane. I did not know the height difference was that drastic. Do you know what? I've met Braun. There's a picture of me with Braun. And how Braun just looked to Omos is how I looked next to Braun. So I can't even, I don't even think I'd be able to even see high enough to see Omos. It's amazing. That's amazing. Braun is 6'8". Brennan said, I wonder if the Who Killed the World, You Did, We Did thing is directed at fans for demanding and wanting Bray to come back. Maybe like a be careful what you wish for thing. Maybe. Here's last week, look, and we've got Drew racing down, attacking Carrion, Carrion being hurled into the side of the car. Is Kayla. Drew. Management aren't happy about what happened last week. I was called to the headquarters and I had some uncomfortable conversations. Severe consequences if he throws fists. But we agreed this has to end. At Crown Jewel. Okay, steel cage. Steel cage match at Crown Jewel. Got a vehicle arriving. Logan has arrived. Logan Paul arrives. Here's Damage Control. Damage Control. We got the power. We got the pain. It's gonna rain. The ring will break at Crown Jewel during Omos and Braun because of a superplex, said Nor Wrestling Pods. It's a good shout. Okay, we've got Io, Dakota, Bailey making their way down. We got the power. We got the pain. We got the rage in the gauge. Damage Control versus Raquel and Shotzi. This is going to be for the women's tag titles. What I would say is I can understand there being a bit disappointment that so far there's not been more Bray. The only thing is you don't want to overdo it. And you do need to let other people have their moment on the show as well. So, I mean, look, we've had an hour, just over an hour. We got a big Bray segment. I know it was only a backstage thing, but there was a lot to chew over. And there's every chance that we get Uncle Howdy or something in the second hour as well. Here's the tank. We've got Shotzi and Raquel making their way down. Tank's moving a bit slow, isn't it? I tell you what, that really shoots, doesn't it? They've got like this big red button. When they hit it, really fires. Bib nothing burger match. Is Dave's watching Halloween Havoc tomorrow? I am, but the priority, of course, is UFC 280. That is one of the biggest UFC shows of the year. So haven't actually got Halloween Havoc set up yet, but I believe that they will miss each other. The one should end comfortably before the other starts. But yeah, my focus right now is on UFC 280. That was like a modern day Taker and Giant Gonzalez with the size difference, said James. I agree. I keep thinking this is like the Funhouse store, but it's not. It's the advert for Halloween Havoc. Jaden Cage said Logan Paul grew up an hour and 45 minutes from Toledo, so this is basically his hometown. They need to have something happen or it will get old just teasing week after week, says Bob. Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, to be honest, we got something pretty big last week with him arriving in a very on it. I don't think anyone was disappointed following last week because you got the new theme music, you got the emotional promo, we got interrupted, it closed the show. I didn't see anyone like complaining about last week. This week, he wasn't advertised. So they didn't promote him and say big Bray segment or anything like this. They didn't. The preview for tonight's show did not mention him at all. So what we did get this week was we got a backstage segment, which I think there's a lot to explore there. I think there's a lot to chew over. You're seeing people already talking about the whole who killed the world thing and how does that connect. It's very interesting as well. Bray has stayed as Wyndham. You know, again, we wondered if that would be the end of the Wyndham character, if it was just a one-off to thank the fans and now off he goes to do whatever. But we got to see that real Wyndham again, and we're learning more about this real Wyndham persona because we're hearing more from this real Wyndham persona. And how interesting that he said that he just wanted to be left alone and that he didn't want the fans calling his name and he just wanted to be left to himself. You know, and he says that he's going to do horrible. He confesses he's going to do horrible things. That not coming from Funhouse Bray or anything. That coming direct from Wyndham, saying I'm going to be doing horrible things. I know who you are. Again, we don't know who he's talking to. Is he talking to himself? Is he talking to Bo? Like, what? Who is this person? Because seemingly this is going to be his first feud. And I feel like we've taken steps in those directions all from the segment tonight. And as we said, there could still be something else that we get as well. And of course, there's going to be a week where he makes his in-ring debut. It's going to be a week where Uncle Howdy seemingly will reveal who he is. There's going to be a week potentially where we get members of a Wyatt faction joining him. So there's plenty that obviously we need to be doing. I don't mind this pace. I don't mind this pace. I feel there's lots to explore. It's a bit like Roman. I mean, look at the Roman and the Bloodline story. That was not a million miles an hour. It wasn't like bang, 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 bang. Now we got this, now we got that, now this is happening. You know, it's Roman taking half an hour to get to the ring, saying, acknowledge me. And then a little something will happen and you go, ooh, and you chew over it. I think that's fine, because when you've got something like pro wrestling, which is on all the flipping time, like, you know, they have to fill 5 hours of content week after week after week after week. I think it's fine to not burn through everything like super quickly. Like, just let it marinate, let people chew over it, let people theorize over it, and, you know, take your time. You can pick it up when you've got something big happening, and if there's like a big feud and you need to turn the tempo up, you can definitely do that. But I really don't mind this pace. Don't mind it. Jake said there's a few new stills from the earlier Bray tease. Okay. I mean, I was taking quite a few screenshots from it, but yeah, if there's anything of note in them, feel free to let us know. I didn't notice anything in the backgrounds, but I will admit, as he was talking, I was having to write down. I bet the circle will pop up at some point. Whoever is on screen will be attacked, says William. Okay, damage control against Raquel and Shotzi. We got 50 minutes left to go. 50 minutes left to go. These 4 women are not main roster ready. This should be a dark match, said Hawkins Jr. Damage Control just look like individuals fighting together and not a team. I agree, to be honest. Yeah, I don't feel like they don't feel uniformed, do they? I've said before, I feel like they need Damage Control t-shirts. I feel like they need to be wearing like the same colors. I think when they're in their own segments, like when they're not in wrestling segments, what I will say is both seemingly are wearing white, gold, and black today. So there might be an effort today to get them closer in ring gear. But when they're not in a segment in a match and they're wearing their own clothes, they look way too casual. They look like they're popping out to Walmart, ripped jeans and just some t-shirt. Like, it's just, there's no style. They don't stand out. They just look like ordinary people off the street. So, yeah, there's definitely tweaks that need to be made to the Damage Control presentation. I agree. Part of me wonders, I think it was all thrown together relatively last second. I don't think even Dakota knew she was coming back until relatively close to SummerSlam. This wasn't like a real planned through thing. Maybe that's part of why the presentation is a bit off, because, it hasn't been thought through. Shotzi, crossbody, comes crashing down, so they might be making changes as things appear. Io is down, Dakota is down, Shotzi and Raquel in control. In the ring goes Dakota. Raquel to shoulder up. Shoulder up by Dakota. So we are underway with this women's tag title championship match. Shotzi up top, missile drop kick, down goes Dakota. She was on the shoulders of Raquel. 1, 2, and a kick out. I really like Dakota, said Dark Knight. This was cooking, climbing in the shoulders. It's Gordon's son, Aries. During Monday Night Raw, I am getting ready to go to the ring and whip the Street Profits. Good luck, my friends. Good luck. James said, do you think Bray needs to be amazing on the mic and have a crazy story to make up for his in-ring? It's no secret he doesn't put on 4 or 5-star wrestling matches. I think the presentation needs to be right. And if I was to criticize that segment earlier, it kind of felt very stripped back. And the music playing, I don't know why the music was playing whilst he was talking. That's not something we get during backstage promos, is it? Like, we don't get the music playing when AJ Styles talks, or do you know what I mean? So the music, I think it was to like set the mood, but I found it a little bit loud and a bit distracting. That would be my only criticism, was that I think when it comes to Bray, people love to like read into things. And I think it probably needed a little something in the background. So I think what he said was fine. I think what he said was interesting. I mean, it wasn't OMG on the level of like an MJF promo. There was no kill shots or anything in there. But I think what he's revealing, and certainly doing it from a very real place, a very real persona, a Wyndham persona, if you will, I think is very interesting. And it was a captivating promo. Like, I was writing it down, and, you want to make sure you're hearing every word and catching everything, because any little thing in there can be very, insightful. But I did think that just playing the music and just having him talk and that being it, don't know, just felt a bit too stripped back for like a Bray segment. I'm so used to like Firefly Funhouse segments where you're just constantly looking at like, what's the puppet saying? What are their actions? What are they doing? Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, here's a Vince puppet. Oh my God, friendship frog. What the hell is this? Oh my God, we're doing a muscle man dance. We've kind of done away with all of that. We don't have any interesting backgrounds. There are no puppets. I didn't see anything in the background. So I sort of feel like it's fine because in a way, this is the persona. It's him. It's just him. And this is what this persona is. It's him, being honest. No, like, any messing around or anything. Nothing going on in the background. It's just him and his words. And I think that's fine for this persona. But I do worry that long term, we're losing. If this is how it's going to be long term, I feel like we're really losing something that makes Bray so special. Because what makes him so special is not only his promos, but the fact that in the background or interrupting him or something he's wearing is something that the fans can speculate and talk about on social media. Now, they will still do that with what he said, but I feel like, he was always very good at giving you just even more than that. So I think his promos don't need to be amazing. His promos just need to push the stories along. That's fine. But if it is going to do that, then you would like to see something else in his segments that kind of get people thinking. His in-ring, as we said, is definitely a bit below par, but I genuinely believe he's got it in him to have great matches. I don't think he can't do it. I just think you need the right opponent. You need to plan the match and you need the right opponent. And if you do that, you can have great Bray matches. I mean, we saw him in tag matches that were fantastic. Wyatt family against Shield is amazing. It's brilliant. Him against Daniel Bryan scored, I think, 4 stars from Dave Meltzer. And that was a video we did not long ago where we were talking about how, Dave Meltzer's a big critic of Bray. And the Fiend kept winning worst gimmick in The Observer. But even he gave Fiend, not Bray, Fiend versus Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble. He gave that 4 stars. Dave Meltzer gave it 4 stars. So if you've got the right story and the right opponent, it is possible. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really on board with it. I'm just enjoying the journey. It's great. It's great. I want more. But that's the sign of a great story, is that you want more of it. And I hope we do get some more this week, but if not, I'll just be excited for next week. Long Beach Hippie said the cheapest tickets at WrestleMania are $198. It's not bad. At least you get into the arena. An aisle seat next to the ramp is $7,000. Ringside is $11,000. Ringside. WrestleMania tickets, $11,000. Oh my God. That is crazy. I mean, look, if you've got the money, if you're a millionaire, it's nothing, is it? To the average Joe, though. Nice DDT by EO. We are back to the action. Kick out. This star rating stuff is out of control, said Fortnite. Matty said, do you think Roman will lose at some point or go unbeaten? No, he'll lose. He'll lose. I think that he'll lose, and I think that he will go... I think he'll lose next year. And then I think he'll go into an even more reduced schedule, unfortunately. Big clothesline by Raquel. O'Malley or Yan, said William. I'll go Yan. Kojiko said trick or treating got its name by kids going door to door and performing a trick or an act in return for a treat. I remember it. That's how it used to be, yeah. I never really understood it. That's a bit sloppy. Dakota kind of fell into Shotzi. She didn't really do anything as she fell into her. She was meant to break up the pin. The referee did stop counting, though. But yeah, I'm guessing people don't do it anymore. But when I was young, it was trick or treat. I never really... if you said trick, then people had to do a trick. And then I think they still got candy anyway. And if they said treat, you just gave them the treat. I never really got it, to be honest. Never really understood. You'd always just say treat, just give them the treat, and that's it. I don't think we ever said trick. EO climbing up top. Looking for a moonsault. Oh, gets it. Lands on Shotzi. 2, 3. And it is a win. It is a victory. I got the rage. I got the page. So Dakota taking Raquel out of the game. Bayley then tried to interfere. She tried to interfere. That distraction just momentarily costing Shotzi. We got the page. We got the rage. Hangman Page is all the rage. Damage control beats Shotzi and Raquel. Dakota and Io win. They do. Who is going to fight for the tag titles next? Who will it be? It's not the most stacked of divisions, is it? Io then jumping out of the ring. I did wonder if someone was coming out then, because they sort of took their time getting out the ring, and then they held the belts up and they were looking at the entranceway. And part of me was like, is someone's music about to hit? Here's Ronda. You're issuing an open challenge. I issue open challenges to prove I'm the best. I kept chasing approval after all of that. I didn't come back for them, and I don't win for them. They don't want the best, they want their favorites. Well, now they're stuck with the best. I'm getting the hell out of Ohio. They don't want the best. They want their favorites. I mean, I wanted the best, to be honest. Here we go. What the flip was that? What the flip was that? Oh my God. We got Uncle Howdy, and then we got a mask, and then we got a voice that went, howdy. Whoa! Things just blew up, man. Things just blew up. What? Howdy. Oh, that is sick. I tell you what, that mask looks weird. That looked weird. What the flip was that? Howdy. We just got introduced to proper Uncle Howdy. What? I just went, what? Man, that is sick. Hey, do you want to know the first thing I'm thinking, though? Tons of images in there. Tons of images, but those images, I think you can largely ignore. If there's a lesson that I've learned, it's that a lot of those images are from the past or they're stock images. So, yes, everyone's going to pour through that segment, pick it apart, and all that kind of stuff. But I think listen, trying to work out what Uncle Howdy or whatever that flipping mask thing is, trying to work out what he was saying was very, very difficult. I'm sure people will be working on that. But a lot of the images that flashed up on screen, a lot of the images that flashed up on screen, there was a QR code, you're right. A lot of the images that flashed up on screen, they are, I think, probably to be ignored. Now, the QR codes. Howdy. QR code, if anyone's got it, send it over. Did think that we would get something else. I was hoping that we would get something else. We saw the masked person again. QR codes. QR code, where are you? Got it. Got it. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? QR code reader. There you are. Right. 3D FXIVJ question mark R equals QR. Don't know that the URL actually has got anything for us. Let's click on it. Let's turn it up. Here we go. Oh, psychological evaluation. Oh, Bray Wyatt, psychological evaluation. Does it do anything if you click it, or is it just an image? God. Oh my God. Oh man, this is insane. I feel sick. How am I meant to concentrate? Oh, there. Psychological. Right. Oh, we're going somewhere. So cool. I haven't looked at it. We can look at it together. Don't you worry your pretty faces. I am just sending it over to this PC and then we'll have a look at it. Right. Right, let's have a look. Days, I've sent you the QR codes. Appreciate it. Backstage with Legado del Fantasma at the moment. Okay, what is this? Okay, that'll do. Right, let's put this up on screen. So we'll just use this as a background for now. And now this is the thing. Let's make this bigger. So we can look at this together. So we've got that. And then the other one that I wanted to show you that I've got as well is Uncle Howdy. Howdy. So we got this guy who, I mean, I don't see Bray there, you know. Just the shape of everything, the shape of his nose. I do not see Bray. So, a little bit weird. So, yeah, this is what we've got. So a QR code has just appeared on SmackDown. When you click on that QR code, it brings you to an image. Now, this appeared to be a still image. It doesn't appear as if you can actually click on it and it will go anywhere or do anything. It is worth mentioning, though, that in the URL, it does say 85521113333. That is definitely something. I don't know if they're going to be coordinates. There's obviously going to be several ways that that can be decoded. It might even be a phone number. I'm not sure. 85521113333. So that is the URL. And as I said, that will definitely be something. So we'll have to see if that gets decoded. But this is the image. It is a psychological evaluation. Oh, I've just noticed the URL number is the client ID at the top. Again, it could still be something. But look at that. The client ID in the top right corner is the same number that is in the URL. That number means something, and it's at the top of this. So it's got his date of birth. It's got his name, obviously not his real name. Bray Wyatt is character name. It says that he refused to sign. I authorize the release of information regarding my condition to social health services. This includes the contents of the evaluation, as well as diagnostic testing and treatment. All of that. I mean, there's lots that's kind of lined out. Difficult showing remorse or empathy, conflict with social norms, disregarding or violating the rights of others. So this is a psychological evaluation that Bray Wyatt has had. I can't see any date on here as to when this actually happened. There's a lot that's been redacted, kind of crossed out, lined out. But the key bits of information they want you to see is that he has been psychologically analyzed, and he has difficulty showing empathy. This wasn't it, though. I mean, this wasn't it, because as well as this, we also got to see this, and we heard the word howdy, and this was insane, man. That looks like a mask to me. I don't know if you can see the cheek seems to be away from like the face. So that definitely feels like it's a mask. So it's hard to tell because that cheek part and the nose part, they definitely feel like they are connected and they're part of a mask. The mouth and the facial hair, I believe, is the actual person. I don't get Bray vibes from that. And this obviously feels like it's Uncle Howdy because he just said howdy. So that makes me think it's Uncle Howdy. Seems to have a hat, maybe similar to like an Undertaker hat. And obviously like a coat as well, a long leather coat. This guy, I think, is going to feel very Western. I'm getting like maybe an old cowboy, an old sheriff, that kind of a vibe. Uncle Howdy. Where this has come from, what this is, we've got no idea. But this was part of that kind of mask persona that has been interrupting Bray. Lots of images in there as well. All I'll say with the images is that we do know a lot of them relate to old Bray Wyatt promos. We also know that some of them, one in particular, that rabbit type person, that is old stock footage. You can just buy that. And so seemingly that there's no connection there. There's nothing that we need to be really connecting with any of that. So this is the big takeaway from me. The QR code is the big takeaway as well. Yeah, lots to get excited about. Obviously, we'll get another video up and we'll see what else comes out of it. I'm sure there is something in those images. And what is 85521111333? That is definitely something that we need to look into. So exciting, man. Exciting. SmackDown has definitely delivered. Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy. There we go. Call the phone number. Call the number. Call the number. Never lost control. It is a number. I called the number. It only hangs up. What does it say? What does it say? You'll have to let me know because obviously we're having to watch Raw. We're having to watch SmackDown at the same time. So feel free to let us know in the chat what it says. There's people at work and whatever that aren't going to be able to call the number themselves. So if you've called it, what does it say when you call it? Right now we've got Rey Mysterio in the ring with Gunther on the outside, Ludwig Klein. Man, I didn't want to do 2 videos today, to be honest. And I've still got to do one when the show ends. Psychological evaluation. Right, we are going to commercial break. That's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was big, wasn't it? That was big. That's juicy. Howdy. Right. So we are at commercial break. If you are just joining us, we are getting towards the end of this show. We've got 25 minutes left to go. 25 minutes left to go. IRS looking for freedom. It's Bray's actual uncle. Bray Wyatt wearing the mask. Bray is the servant of the mind. If you called the lumber now, said return. What's it? Just tell me what it says. A voice says, "Oh no, not me. I never lost control. Oh no, not me. We never lost control." Thank you. Let him in. Appreciate it. Interesting. Don't know what to make of what it says on the phone then. But I love the psychological analysis. That kind of shows that Bray has obviously got psychological issues. That makes his character quite interesting. The Uncle Howdy is, God, I mean, fascinating. It's going to be so hard to know kind of where that's going. As I said, I think a lot of the images we can probably dismiss, but there could still be something of note in there. I think it would be wrong for us to just completely dismiss it without taking a second to like really look through them. And there was definitely new images that were in there that I've not seen before, and a few that we have seen before as well. I definitely saw the person in the mask again, you know, that we think's Bo Dallas. I remember seeing that. I think we might have seen the rabbit person as well, which we know is stock footage. So we might have seen that. There seem to be people with like deformities. I only saw them very quickly. I wonder if they'll turn out to be patients of like, I don't know, mental health facilities or something. That sick, man. That was sick. When he went howdy, that was sick. Right, we are going back to the show. Howdy. I've got that in my head now. It's like a song. It's more catchy than Taylor Swift's new Midnight album. Howdy. Right. Right. How long have we got? We've got 20 minutes left to go. All these guys do is cheat, says Michael Cole. Michael Cole not impressed with what he's seeing out of Imperium at the moment. It is a phone number. It says we never lost control in a creepy voice. I would love it if Bray is not the leader of this group, said Terrence. It comes from the song The Man Who Sold the World. What, those lyrics? That's interesting. That's interesting. Man who sold the world. David Bowie. We passed upon the stairs. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. You're face to face with the man who sold the world. I don't know if he says it. It doesn't say man who sold the world. Oh no, not me. That's a tune as well. It's a banger. Bob said, howdy, seeming like a Taker parody, the hat. And I guess being from Texas, always had a spooky howdy cowboy vibe, said Bob. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's going to, it might lead people to start talking about The Undertaker. I really don't expect him to be part of this. I don't expect him to be part of this at all. Kick to the side of the face. Okay, Ray going over. Forearm smash into Ludwig. Kaiser trying to respond. Main event tonight then looks like it's going to be Logan Paul. Logan Paul promo still to come on the show. Kick out by Ray. I missed it. Did Days call the number? No, I just had people tell me what it said. It's hard enough trying to jot stuff down for the review, get images for the review, try and listen to what people are saying. Like, call in a number as well. Those are the lyrics to Man That Sold the World. It was covered by Nirvana, said Fortnite. Check Twitter. I've tagged you in something. Have a look, see what Twitter is saying at the moment. I should imagine Twitter is exploded with joy. Howdy. He said, why would you lie to me? Never lie to the ones you love. Oh, is that what he said? I have to be really careful because this is footage that was actually shown on the show. It's not like the QR codes where they were not on the show. So this stuff that you always have to be really careful with. You have to be really careful with copyright. Rey Mysterio on the outsides. So Imperium have been thrown from ringside. They're being told to do one. Do one, do one, do one. So Imperium. Remove. Big splash by Ray. And kick out. Mysterio still battling away in this one. $619 is the champ by the crowds. Ray charging over against the ropes. Lovely head scissors into the 619. 619 connects. Ray in control. And Ray picks up the victory. Rey Mysterio wins. So Ray wins. Mysterio. Lots of faces in this. There's a kind of scary person at the top of the stairs. Oh, God, do you remember that? What was that? Top of the stairs. That was Bray's song. What? You see the sun again. Up and out. Up and out. Will a bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 let me show you what the flip I'm on about. This makes me think of Bray's song, Top of the Stairs. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Look at that. Oh! Top of the stairs. Bum, 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 bum. Spooky person. Spooky, spooky. They are really spooky. Spooky. The song says, Man Who Sold the World. Nirvana did a cover. Song name is Live in Fear. That one then. It would be professional if just Roman came out, the bloodline went face to face with Logan and not have Jimmy J, Solo, and Sammy. Bray Wyatt has an uncle named Barry Windham, used to play a cowboy persona during his wrestling career. That's where Uncle Howdy originates from, said Sam. That's a good shout, actually. Could be connected. Could be connected. Just looking to see what other things we have hidden in this promo. There's some horrible imagery in here of like, do you remember I was saying I saw like deformities? There's definitely, I've found one face that's a deformity. Got like seemingly a load of skulls. I'm just looking at some of these images. That top of the stairs one I really like. A lot is just Uncle Howdy. There's I showed a picture before that was of like a sky. And I was like, do you reckon this is a nod to the Funhouse? That's in there as well. There's also some imagery of like a load of hands reaching out. The Uncle Howdy mask. If that's what it's called, with red eyes. I do think that you could potentially change the expression on that. I thought that was an excellent theory. And someone pointed out that actually underneath the eyes of this Uncle Howdy mask, there is a line. And potentially you could clip that off and then put on another different expression. Because that's what they do in Black Phone. But the line's a bit lower on Black Phone. The line is here, and you take the mouth bit off and put that on. But there is potential for changing over the bottom part of this Howdy mask. Whoa. Wonder who this person is. Oh, man, there's a couple, actually. What that is symbolizing. Howdy. Right, we are going back to... So next week, we've got an open challenge by Ronda Rousey. Don't forget, we do know that some of these are just stock footage. As we said, we've got that kind of rabbit... I call it the rabbit person because their ears are quite long. Roman Reigns is back next week. Roman Reigns returns next week. Just trying to get as many of these screenshots as possible, but there is so many images in here. That might be something. There's that's interesting. I think there might be a bit more of a reveal of the face of Uncle Howdy there. I might have to come back to this. It's taken a bit longer to get the images I wanted than I was hoping for. There's the QR codes. Then the Hawk Moth. We got the Hawk Moth. Then we got the hat has got seemingly like some thorns around the top of it, like some sort of branch or something around it. Then you've got the face. Howdy. Okay. What I wanted to show you Jake, I'll try and get to your thing in a sec, buds. Logan Paul's making his way out. Yeah. What's the most interesting thing that we found? I think that's quite interesting. So that to me looks like it could be the eye of Uncle Howdy. Like this feels like it's a mask and the cheek seems to connect to the nose. So that's maybe a bit more of a glimpse, not the greatest glimpse, but a bit more of the glimpse of the Uncle Howdy thing. We were talking about people with like disabilities and injuries or something, and that was shown up. I mean, that's pretty horrific. If that's like an injury, I don't know. I get like a Second World War vibe from that, and I don't know why, to be honest. But I do get a Second World War type vibe coming out of it. And then, as we said, you know, really, that this person at the top of the stairs, I think that's really interesting. So those are just a few of the images that are in there. There are some others as well, of course. QR code takes you to a predacted psycho form, says Shannon. Right, Logan Paul is in the ring. Feels good to be in Ohio, says Logan. Feels good to be in Ohio. The person at the top of the stairs reminds me of The Undertaker, said Scott. Is Uncle Howdy coming for Bray, or is it Bray? That's the question. I don't think that face looks like Bray, though. Will we see more Bray tonight? No, that'll surely be it done, fam, for this week. That's more than enough, innit? It looked like part of the face creature that claimed he was God in the movie Star Trek V, said John. Logan said he doesn't need some penguin-looking dude like Paul Heyman talking for him. And I don't need people around me at all times to protect me. He's called Solo, but I've never seen him alone. Really never watched NXT. I've got the desire to be the best. No one's expecting me, some kid from social media. What happens if I hit Roman Reigns? What happens if I hit Roman Reigns so hard I bust all of his teeth in? Crowd are getting excited. Something's happening. Run behind Jey Uso. Jey Uso attacks Logan. Jey Uso has gone against the tribal chief. Jake said there was a rumor the funhouse was in a psych wards. Yeah, it's what we wanted it to be. There's actual imagery in the funhouse of a psychiatric ward. The only problem is that WrestleMania 36 sort of ruins it, being a theory, because you might remember that John Cena walks out on stage and then momentarily disappears. And next thing we see is that he's in the Firefly Funhouse. And then he goes through the door, and then we get the Funhouse match. And so if the Funhouse was in a psych ward, what the flip was WrestleMania 36 all about? That's the only downer on it. Sammy is having a word with Jay, saying you can't do this. Out the ring. Sammy says get out the ring. Sammy is telling Jay to get out the ring. Jay goes back over, charges at Logan. Logan gets a right hand on Jay. Jay gets knocked out cold by Logan Paul. One punch, he knocks out Jey Uso. That's Jey Uso dead. That's main event Jey Uso done. What's the second channel? Wrestling Days Clips. Wrestling Days Clips, buds. It could be in a site ward because how can you explain John Cena teleport him? It could still be in a site ward. How can you explain John Cena teleporting? You can't. You can't teleport it. It's undeniable that the Fiend character was supernatural. Trust me. It was a direction I didn't want the Fiend character to go in, but it's a direction that it went in. Undeniable that the Fiend character was a supernatural character. So I've long since given up trying to justify or work out what the Funhouse match was at WrestleMania 36. It was John Cena being made to face his own internal demons and all this kind of stuff, you know. Bray could have imagined he was fighting John Cena whilst being in a site wards. Well, John Cena walked out on stage at WrestleMania 36, and then next second he's in the Funhouse, kind of looking at himself. John Cena never spoke about what happened. It's not as if John Cena came out and said, "Where was Bray?" It's not like John Cena has ever come out and said he never had a match at WrestleMania 36. It's all just been ignored. It makes it really hard. Do you know what I mean? I've said before, when you go down those roads, it can make it really, really difficult to try and work out what's happening, because I think it was just like spookiness, John Cena facing himself kind of a thing. But that does make it harder in these kind of moments to tie it into things that are happening, you know? Good conversations, though. Dustin said, in the source code, there is a line D at RKO 10720. If you look up the movie Donnie Darko, go to that time, there is a creepy scene involving a bunny. Oh, that's great. That's great. Shout out to you, Dustin. I didn't actually think about going into the source code this time, which is very unusual for me. But that's a great shout. D Darko 10720. I like that. JPville said the ID number is also the telephone number. Yeah, as we were doing like the little video, we saw that connection, that the client ID is the same number as the URL thing. So yeah, we did manage to catch that. But obviously, because we're live and we're trying to watch SmackDown and we're trying to juggle a few different things, it can be very difficult to catch everything. So I had to just get people to tell me what the phone number was, what was actually said. Delwyn said, White Mask was there in the video, the same person that walked past behind Bayley backstage. Can't wait to see what Bray is doing up until Mania plans. Delwyn, shout out to you. James said that WWE have confirmed that Sheamus has got a fractured elbow. Duff said it could be Barry Windham. He's the real-life uncle of Bray Wyatt. Yeah, but how old is Barry Windham now? Actually, not as old as I thought, to be honest. Barry Windham is 62. Barry Windham is 62 years old. Barry Windham's a good shout. Barry Windham's a good shout. I'll look into that further. Anthony, shout out to you, dudes. White Lotus said Uncle Barry Windham, totally. Would make sense if Uncle Howdy was Vincent from Ring of Honor. He used to dress up like a cowboy, said Twisty. Okay, that's interesting. Same comment says, "Why don't you love me? Not why don't you lie to me?" Creep Mask has got stutter, maybe PTSD. The date on the psych evaluation 05/23/87, WWEF Superstars main event, Hogan, Bob Orton. When was I just presumed, and I suppose you should never presume anything, but I just presumed that's when Wyndham was actually born. If that is not Wyndham's actual birth date, 23rd of May 1987, 23rd of May 1987, 23rd of May 1987. I don't think there's anything really in that other than that is his actual birth date. So I believe that's when he was actually born. Difficulty showing remorse or empathy, disregarding or violating the rights of others, and a lot of redacted stuff in there. So, right, with that being said, I'm going to go and do some digging around, see what we can find. Really appreciate the support. We will be back for the review. That review in just over half an hour, but I will try and get like a more up-to-date Bray video out that kind of digs into things a little bit deeper than what we've done already. So we'll try and get that out. Bacon Time 1234 said the Acclaimed just dissed WWE on Rampage. That's my reaction to that. Bacon Time 1234, shout out to you. I wonder what the blocked out parts say. The juicy stuff, to be honest. The juicy stuff that we would all love to know what it actually says is the stuff that's sadly been redacted. But yes, right. I'm going to go up and do this video. Appreciate the support, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.